Welcome, councillors. The Glenelg Shire respectfully acknowledges the Gunditjmara people as the traditional owners of the land of the Glenelg Shire encompasses, and we pay our respect to our elders past, present and emerging. We recognise that Aboriginal people have cared for and protected this land since dreaming. Their connections to the land, the animals, seas and waterways was and continues to be a part of their being, and we thank them for their significant contribution to the life at Glenelg. This evening, councillors, it's quite a significant day today for Portland, or the City of Portland, should I say. It's precisely 40 years since Prince Charles and Diana were here on the 28th of October 1985 and declared Portland, the Portland Council, as the City of Portland. I had a phone call from former councillor Gilbert Wilson, and then of course today I have spoken with the mayor of that time, Robert Halliday, today, and I asked him, did it seem like 40 years? And he said, absolutely not. But he remembers the day well and with great pride, and the pomp and ceremony around a royal visit, which was the only one that we've seen here in the Glenelg Shire. So it's an interesting day, and 40 years, I believe, goes very quickly. So that's today. Councillors and members of the public here, to those present in the gallery, by attending the public meeting of council, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. Council meetings may be live streamed, and the Chief Executive Officer will enable a copy of the recording to the public. There are no apologies today, I believe. Councillors, the confirmation of the minutes of the last meeting on the 23rd of September. Councillor McDonald. Thanks,
Madam Mayor. I'll move the recommendation that the minutes of the council meeting held on the 23rd of September 2025 as circulated be confirmed.
Seconded, Councillor Pepper. Any comments, Councillor?
No, thank you, Madam Mayor.
The motion has been put by Councillor McDonald and seconded by Councillor Pepper. Those in favour? Carried. Recording of councillor briefings. Oh, sorry, Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'll move the recommendation that council receives the record of the councillor briefing held on the 23rd of September 2025, the 6th of October 2025, the 14th of October 2025 and the 21st of October 2025.
Thank you. Is there a seconder, please? Councillor Angelino. Any comments on that?
No comment, thank you.
The motion is tabled on page 5, was moved by Councillor McDonald and seconded by Councillor Angelino. Those in favour? That is carried. Councillors, declarations of conflict of interest in tonight's agenda. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest?
No.
There are none? No? Thank you. We'll report that as nil. Councillors, we'll move on to item 7, which is the councillor activity reports, the 1st of September through to the 30th of September. I'll start with you, Councillor McDonald, as Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just two that I'd like to highlight. These Hands project, the official launch of that, where we met those that were photographed. It was a powerful photographic essay by a local photographer, Nicole Cleary, raising the profile of valuable contributions made by seniors in our community, including farmers, volunteer craft makers and musicians. And I'd just like to share the quote that was on Norm's profile. He reflected, "There's a deep satisfaction in helping others, and it's something I've always carried close to my heart. I hope this project shows younger people that getting involved in your community isn't just important, it's something that can really shape your life." And that project, I think, has got a few days left for anyone to see, and those 4 images are dotted around the Shire.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Just a second one that I'd like to highlight Madam Mayor, the JC Kindergarten Art Show, which was held at the Drill Hall. A beautiful space for it, and the quality of the presentation of the work was very impressive, both two-dimensional and three-dimensional work, and little kindy students alongside their work alongside quotations by renowned educationalists discussing the value of hands-on experience in independent learning, fostering that lifelong love of learning, and also developing a child's social, emotional and intellectual physical growth. So it was a real reminder for them to keep away from those screens at that tiny young age and, yes, keep up with some artwork. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Angelino.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Also attended the These Hands launch, and it was a great initiative by the council and the community, especially the poor people, and it meant so much to themselves and also for all the work they've done with those hands. So it was a great event, and it was spread around the community. Also, we went to the youth art mural celebration of Flinders Park amenities. We went on a quite wet day, and it was. You could see the enthusiasm of the youth that actually did the painting, and it was just bright. They were so keen in taking part in painting the amenities, and it was great that they can take part and they can learn from what they've done. It will be seen later on in the community as part of their achievement. So it was a great day and a great month getting out in the community. So thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Angelino. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Just as tabled.
Thank you. Councillor Pepper.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you can see, I didn't get out. I had a busy work program at home, so so attended what was had to, and got a little bit out of the cultural awareness training that was mandatory for us. Learned some stuff. So I believe that, I suppose, with those training sessions, if you're learning something, then it's a good day for you. Well, and it was we're all there, so that was good. That's all I got to report. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
That's fine. It seems to be a quieter month in September, which is fine. It's always good. I obviously attended the These Hands project, the official launch of that project, and I have to say, CEO, please pass on my gratitude and the council's gratitude to the organisers of that. It was a lovely project, and it's been really well received, and I think it was a great initiative leading into Seniors Month throughout October. So it's just been beautiful, and it's just a lovely way of capturing. And I mean, we know that Nicole Cleary, she's just won a statewide award or a national award for a photo that she took out at the Tirrandarish P&A show, actually. So very talented, but perfect person to use for that sort of project. So, but well received. Look, I attended a number of meetings, but obviously I also attended Hamilton councillors for the National Police Remembrance Day for this region this year. So, and many others in between. The youth art mural at Flinders Park has been said, and a number of different meetings that I've attended across the board. I'd just like to thank all councillors for their work throughout September, and all of the community functions that they attended, and obviously all the mandatory meetings that they attend throughout the month as well. Councillors, on page 8 there is a recommendation there to accept those activity reports. Have I got a mover, please? Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'll move the recommendation that Council notes the councillor activity reports for 1st of September to the 30th of September 2025.
Councillor Noski.
Second that.
It's been moved by Councillor McDonald and seconded by Councillor Noski. Those in favour? That is carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move on to item 8, which is a notice of motion. Councillor Carr, you've put forward a notice of motion.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, I'd like to move the motion that Council writes a submission to the Victorian Fisheries Authority in support of the draft Fisheries Portland Bay Commercial Fishery Notice 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Councillor Noski is seconding.
Second that motion.
Thank you. Councillor Carr.
Thanks, Madam Mayor and fellow councillors. Make no mistake, our community was extremely upset by the commercial netting that had been occurring a couple of 100 metres off Dutton Way and Alistry in 2023. I believe this council should show its support for the proposed 2025 draft Portland Fisheries Notice put out by the Victorian Fisheries Authority, which prohibits the use of mesh nets, trawl nets and sign nets in specified waters off Portland Bay. Just to explain that, it's from Point Danger across to the Fitzroy River, back to Alistry and Dutton Way. 2, restricting the use of long lines in specified waters off Portland Bay. 3, prohibiting the take of yellow-tailed kingfish in specified waters off Portland Bay by ocean fisheries access licence holders and trawl inshore fisheries access licence holders. This notice put forward by the Victorian Fisheries Authority represents an important step in ensuring the long-term protection of Portland Bay. Maintaining recreational fishing as a vital part of the Portland's community and culture. The draft notice strikes a fair and sustainable balance between commercial and recreational fishing. It provides a sensible framework that supports both sectors while prioritising the ecological sustainability of our marine environment. Importantly, the proposed no netting zone is proportionate. It covers less than 5% of Victoria's net-free fishing areas. This allows for targeted conservation without placing an undue burden on commercial operations. Recreational fishing continues to be a major economic contributor to Portland and the Glenelg Shire and the broader southwest region, injecting millions of dollars annually into the local economy. This revenue plays a crucial role in supporting local businesses, infrastructure and the growing tourism sector. Finally, seeing this fisheries notice cemented in the regulations will help protect Portland Bay forever, ensuring that not only our communities now, but for future generations will benefit greatly. So I do call on the support of the Council to endorse the motion that we write a submission supporting the 2025 draft Portland Fisheries Notice and commend the Victorian Fishery Authority for its continued commitment to protecting our natural resources while supporting regional communities. Thank you, Councillors.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Councillor Noski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd clearly like to speak on support of the motion. This fisheries notice has grown out of what was a voluntary moratorium on commercial fishing that started back in the 1990s when commercial fishers and the council reached an understanding that a line drawn due north from the end of the K.S. Anderson Wharf to the North Shore, everything west of that line would be commercial fishing free, and over the years that's obviously expanded out into areas, and to find that moratorium had broken down a few years ago was concerning. And I think the fact that the Fisheries Association is putting this forward is something that we need to support, because it is very clear that recreational fishing is a very significant part of the tourism industry for Portland and Glenelg Shire. So I urge councillors to support the motion, and we look forward to seeing a sustainable and ongoing commercial fishery and recreational fishery working side by side in these waters. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Oski. Does anybody wish to speak against the notice of motion? If not, thank you. I will put the motion as read by Councillor Carr and second by Councillor Noski. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Carr, for bringing that forward to our attention again. Management reports, councillors. 9.1 is Councillors' Quarterly Expenditure Report. Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'll move the recommendation that Council receives the Councillor's quarterly expenditure report for the period 1st of July 2025 to the 30th of September 2025.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Jowett. Any comments, Councillor? It's procedural. I'll put the motion as moved by Councillor.
Some questions?
Sorry.
Can we ask some questions?
Sure.
Start.
What's your, through me?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I'm concerned, and I apologise I wasn't here for the discussion in the briefing session, but I'm concerned that this statement reflects a real $3.5 million deterioration in Council's cash position compared to the budget.
Point of order, Madam Mayor.
Sorry.
And
procedural matter, I think
it's procedural.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, that'll be the next agenda item, I suggest, Madam Mayor.
This is the Councillor's expenditure.
Oh, sorry.
Councillor Noski.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put the motion as moved by Councillor McDonald and second by Councillor Jowett. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor.
Apologies.
That's all right. I was just going to say. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Just please try, I'll take it as slowly as I can, but we're 9.2, which is the quarterly finance report.
Oh.
Thank you. Mr. Hall,
Apologies.
would you like to make any comment on this?
Madam Mayor, so it is the first quarterly expenditure report for the council term. As you will see from the report there, the expenditure and income are very close to what was forecast at this time. Capital works expenditure is quite low, which is again is expected, and that will increase over the coming period. Cash position is quite solid, although noting since the generation of this report there has also been another number of expenditure runs done since then as well.
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Councillors, you have the financial report to the end of September for 2025. Councillor Noski, we're on item for the quarterly financial report. Your question to me is?
Through you, Madam Mayor. So, a couple of questions. In the cash flow report, trust funds and deposits repaid, there's a $640,000 year-to-date figure, and zero shown as an amended, as the forecast for the amended. I would call it the forecast for the end of year. Can I ask, is that trust fund payment expected to be repaid by the end of the year?
Thank you, Councillor Noski. Mr. Hall.
Can I just ask the councillor which page are we referring to?
Yeah, which page?
The cash flow document.
Yeah, which page? We're on page 4, I would believe. I've got page 4. Which item?
Trust funds and deposits repaid, and in an area of expenditure out, it's showing up as a $640,000 income item.
Madam Mayor, I don't have the details of that particular expenditure here. I would expect that, being that it's a cash flow for the month, that it would actually, for the quarter, that it would go through, but I'll take the question on notice and refer to the CFO.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
Further to that, Madam Mayor, materials and services, the expenditure for the end of year is now forecast to be $1.95 million over and above what was budgeted. And in the comments in the business paper, there is an item, there is a note saying that an increase of 540 is in materials and services. Is there an explanation for the other $1.4 million?
I would think that it's pretty early in the piece, Councillor Noski, in the financial year, and there will always be variations in materials and services.
It's an end-of-year forecast.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Hall, have you got some indication of information on that, or do you want to take that on notice?
It'll have to be taken on notice.
Yeah,
Madam Mayor. I mean, the report has highlighted there shows that being it's the first quarter, there is a number of
That's right.
carry forward amounts, including because of the early $5.8 million payment from our grants.
Yep.
We also have operational grants that weren't not fully expended all the way through. There's a process for bringing forward the expenditure from that. In addition to that, there's capital grants that weren't realised when we did the budget that are carried forward going through, and the operational expenditure commitments relating to the ERP and the asset management works and planning works, which are works that, again, which were initially hoped to be done by the 30th of June, that haven't been completed by the end of the year and through the forecast budget. Now, I haven't calculated them up to that particular figure, but as I said, I'll take the question on notice and provide a response back to the Council.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Further, Madam Mayor, there's an item there as noted in the business paper of a carried forward operational expenditure in the ERP project of $297,000, but in the draft 24-25 accounts that we received, the budget for that item was $778,000 and the expenditure was $721,000. So can I ask what the difference between what would appear to be about a $50,000 carry forward and a $298,000 carry forward is?
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Noski.
Again, Madam Mayor, it'd be advantageous to have some of these questions early so we can prepare responses for it. So, but as you know, the ERP had several components. There was a capital project of it. There was also a staffing element of it as well. We do have a carry forward component of the ERP of $297,000. A large amount of that is to do to the migration costs for the data going forward. But again, I'll take the question on notice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, councillors? Councillor Jarrett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I only have one question, and that refers to the
Page.
At the moment, I'm on borrowing cost on page 1, down the bottom, where it makes mention of the Portland Foreshore Multi-Purpose Project.
Yep.
I'd just like to get an update on that project and whether the officers feel that this project will be completed within this financial year or not. I think this is a long-running project.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Jarrett. We'll perhaps take that in pieces. Perhaps, Mr. Moyne, are you able to give us an update to the best of your ability?
I can, yes. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We're waiting for a funding agreement variation at the moment and working through that with RDV, so that's been submitted previously. To Councillor Jowett's question, it's highly unlikely that the project will be completed this financial year, and we're working through finalising the project plan with RDV. So the aim will be to complete the refurbishment as adopted by Council of both buildings by the end of 2026.
Thank you.
Happy with that? Thank you. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Just got one question. We've got a lot of cash on hand by the looks of it, Madam Mayor. Will we be able to offset our loan repayments, and how long will we be able to do that for? So hopefully we've reduced our borrowing costs.
Thank you, Councillor Carr.
Is that what we're looking to do, Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Mr. Hall.
At this point in time, Madam Mayor, it's probably a little bit early to determine what the cash position is. Mr. Moyne just gave an update of our other large project and how the capital projects go. We are forecast to draw down another $3 million by the end of the year, and our cash balance at the end of the year is only predicted to be just over a couple of $1 million. So we'll certainly be watching the space, but I'd say it's a bit early to make any sort of discussion on that.
Thank you. Mr. Hall. There's no further questions, councillors. There's a recommendation on page 16. Councillor Carr.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to move the recommendation that Council 1 receives the quarterly financial report for the period ending 30th of September 2025. 2, notes the additional budget variations that have been incurred for the 25-26 financial year.
Thank you. A seconder, please. Councillor Angelino. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. And look, I do thank the staff for the financial report year to date and the commentary that's been provided within the meeting agenda to back up the commentary within the financial report. It's very helpful as a councillor to see this information.
Thank you. Councillor Angelino, any commentary?
Just a quick one, Madam Mayor. Thanks to all the team that have put these figures together, and we will go through this year and be able to assess our expenditure and what we get in. And thanks very much for all that work. And we'll, apart from that, it's all good at the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, the motion as tabled on page 16 was moved by Councillor Carr and seconded by Councillor Angelino. Those in favour? Carried. Councillors, we'll move on to 9.3, which is the Audit and Risk Committee minutes, self-assessment and biannual report. Mr Hall.
Madam Mayor, as you've highlighted there, the minutes of the Audit and Risk Committee was held on the 11th of September, as well as provision of the minutes to the next available council meeting. We also have the results of the Audit and Risk Committee's self-assessment survey, and it is worth noting that we've had quite a changeover of the Audit and Risk Committee independent members in particularly the last 12 months. And there's also the biannual report, the 6-monthly report for council tabling as well, Madam Mayor. Thank
you, Mr Hall. Councillors, there's a lot of information there from the Audit and Risk Committee. As I always say, it's always an interesting agenda item. I know it's lots of information, but really important information in there. Any questions on anything there? Don't ask me a hard question, please. Look at Councillor Carr, he's thinking, what can he ask? Anything? There's a motion there on page 20, councillors. Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation in its entirety. Can I?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seconder. Councillor Jowett. Thank you. Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Yes, I've been involved in the audit and risk in the last 12 months, which has been a really interesting experience, and led by some extremely competent independent members, which gives me a lot of confidence in the fact that it continues to provide a layer of oversight, including quite a range of things: internal audit program, risk management, business continuity, internal control processes, monitoring of statutory compliance, and council's financial and performance reporting. So I think we are in a good position, and as we've said, there's been a change of membership, but again, equally competent people coming on, which we're very lucky to have. Thank you.
We are. Councillor Jowett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think Councillor McDonald comprehensively covered this subject.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, the motion was moved as tabled on page 20 by Councillor McDonald and second by Councillor Jowett. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Councillors, we'll move on to 9.4, which is Council's policy review of the procurement policy. Do you want to talk to that? Councillors, do we have a motion? Councillor Carr.
Madam Mayor, I move to lay this item on the table.
Thank you. Councillor Carr's moved to lay the item on the table to the next meeting. Second by Councillor Noski. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Councillors, I'm on 9.5. For those that wish to know, it's on page 31. Council's policy review of fraud and corruption control policies and the fraud and corruption control system. Mr Hall.
Madam Mayor, it's a periodic review of the policy and the fraud control system. Staff have gone through, updated our processes, which is substantial as we change from our finance systems at the moment, as we speak. It's also been through the Audit and Risk Committee for their input and is now presented for council consideration.
Thank you, Mr Hall. Any questions, councillors? If not, there is a motion on page 31. Councillor Noski? You're moving
Move the motion as presented, all three parts.
in its entirety.
Yes.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Pepper. Councillor Noski.
I don't think there's anything that needs to be said.
Okay, straightforward.
It's very straightforward.
Pepper, anything? No. Okay. The motion's been moved as tabled on page 31 by Councillor Noski and second by Councillor Pepper. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you, Mr Hall. We'll move on to 9.6, the long-term financial plan. Councillors, we are required under the Act to have a 10-year financial plan and have that adopted. There's a number of reports tonight that need to be adopted to the Minister by the 31st of October, this being one of them. This has come back after community consultation. Mr Hall.
Madam Mayor, as Council put the long-term financial plan out to community consultation, again, it's a plan that is difficult to generate a lot of interest. At the close, we had over 170 visits through the consultation page, but only 8 responses had been received. It's fair to say that several of the responses considered it almost like a budget process rather than the more strategic area it was. There was one particular response which was talking in regards to the asset side of things, and there's a response articulated in the report in regards to that. It's presented for councillor endorsement.
Thank you, Mr Hall. Councillors, we've spent a lot of time developing our 10-year financial plan, and as I've said, it's a requirement under the Act, and it certainly has been out for community consultation, and we see that, that our community is supporting the progression and investment in the Shire. Councillor Carr, do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. There's a large borrowing figure.
Sorry?
There's a large figure that we wish to borrow about halfway through the long-term financial plan. I'm just wondering if I could get some more information on that and what that may be used for by this council.
Thank you. Mr Hall, would you like to take that question?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So there is an allowance listed in the plan of a major project. That project is not defined or scoped at this particular point in time. It does allow for council to borrow up to $10 million and hopefully attract a matching grant. So it's a $20 million project that's in the it is there, but it'll be up to council to determine what the grant climate is like, whether that is achievable or even with the scope of the document. As I said, it's an arbitrary figure. It's not necessarily attributed to any project, nor do we know if that will cover the scope of any of the projects on council's priority list.
Thank you, Mr Hall. Further questions? Councillor, I suppose the plan also addresses a couple of things around, what options are available to council around, do we increase our income or do we reduce our operation expenditure? For a large council like ours, a 10-year financial plan has a lot of information in it, and we know that will change. Remember, we will be reviewing this annually, and it's hard for us to increase our rates and our income, so it looks about reducing our operational expenditure. That could be through innovation or whatever. So I put that to you, councillors. Now, there is a recommendation there. There's no further questions. There's a recommendation tabled on page 35. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to move the recommendation 1, 2, 3, 4 on page 35 in its entirety.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. A seconder, please. Councillor Jowett. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, a lot of work has gone into the long-term financial plan, and as a councillor group, I believe we have a lot of input into the assumptions that were made, and I'm quite happy to see that this council has the ability, should the opportunity arise in the future, to do some major capital works, and is in a position where it could fund that. So whilst it's going to be tight over the next few years, continue on the path we're on. And there's light at the end of the tunnel, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Councillor John.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As Councillor Carr alluded to, a lot of work has gone into this report and plan, not just by the officers but by ourselves with our input that we've put into it. It's good to see that through this plan that our financial outlook is looking very rosy for the next 10 years. That we're not heading in the wrong direction, we are heading in the right direction now. And I'm looking forward to what this council can achieve.
Thank you, Councillor John. Is there anybody else? Is there anybody that wishes to speak against the motion? Councillor Noski.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor. I'm sure no councillors will be surprised if I speak against the motion. I do appreciate the amount of work that's gone into it by officers. I do appreciate the amount of input that's been allowed from councillors in developing the scenarios, but I just do not believe that the scenarios we finished up with in the report are the right ones for the Glenelg Shire economy. They may be the right ones for this council's bottom line, but I believe that there is a priority in the Act that we manage the Shire's economy, and I don't believe that the financial plan as it's presented is the correct financial plan for this economy. I recognise that the thing will go through, but I'm going to vote against it on principle. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, the motion as tabled on page 35 has been moved by Councillor Carr and seconded by Councillor Jowett. Those in favour? The motion is carried. 6-1. Thank you. Councillors, we'll move on to 9.7, which is the road management plan, page 38. Mr Moyne.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. This report presents the Road Management Plan 2025 for Council's consideration for adoption. The plan establishes and outlines Council's approach, procedures and systems for the management and maintenance of its local road network, both sealed and unsealed. The core basis of the plan deals with Council's program for inspection schedules of roads and road-related infrastructure, whilst establishing maintenance and intervention levels to improve risk management, prioritise interventions and maintain community safety. Public consultation has been undertaken with submissions received. It's highlighted that road upgrades and capital improvements are not within the scope of the road management plan, whilst Council's ability to manage vegetation within road reserves outside of the road formation is limited by planning and environmental regulations. No further changes have been made to the plan following consultation, and it's presented for Council's adoption. The recommendations provided before you.
Thank you, Mr Moyne. Are there any questions of the road management plan, councillors? Councillor Pepper.
Not so much a question, more of a statement. I realise that it's a.
Do you need to move the motion, or are you going to ask? You need to ask a question.
Rightio. I want to know. I know that it's a management plan.
Yes.
But I'm very interested in making sure that rural roads are kept up to standard, Madam Mayor. I think there's been a bit of neglecting going on there, and I just would like to know whether that is going to lift.
Thank you, Councillor Pepper. Mr Moyne.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Mayor. The road management plan does highlight the inspection schedule for the various categories of roads across the Shire, and that's certainly a priority at the moment. And using both the road management plan and also the asset plan and further work that will be undertaken, there's a focus by officers to continue building road condition data and looking at how we can enhance the capital works program moving forward to both renew roads but also upgrade roads where required and appropriate as well. So roads are certainly a strong focus.
I think Councillor Pepper's asking where's the grader. Where's the grader?
Yeah, and to that as well, Mayor, we have graders around the Shire maintaining roads, grading roads, and also resheeting during the summer construction period to lift the unsealed road condition itself.
And we'll be continually focusing on that, and it's more money at resheets, Councillor Pepper.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
That's fine. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. I only got one question. It relates to unsealed rural roads as well. How much flexibility is there if it's already had its annual grade for it to be graded again should it need it within the plan?
Mayor, happy to take the question. It really depends on the condition of the road itself and whether that's changed in a short period of time, whether it's been through a weather event or anything of that nature. Rural roads, in terms of their pavement condition, do vary, and we don't have a standard one-size-fits-all approach across the Shire. So there are circumstances where some rural roads may be graded a couple of times a year. Others might not need a grade throughout the year itself as well, and might be identified through resheet programs that lift the condition of the road.
But there's certainly a list of roads and a rotation of grading of all those unsealed roads, and just wait your turn. Some of them, it's Councillor Carr.
Look, we do have a lot of roads, Madam Mayor.
You can drive from Portland to Townsville. You realise that, don't you?
I get that.
You absolutely realise that.
And the plan it's ambitious. Do we inspect every single road under this plan?
Okay.
Every year.
Mr. Moyne, the inspection regime.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep.
Previously, Madam Mayor, the inspectors frequently go out in accordance with the plan to inspect all roads across the Shire. There are some challenges in that, obviously, as well, but that's certainly a focus in meeting Council's requirements in undertaking inspections and maintaining roads.
Yeah, and that supports our maintenance.
That's right. Yeah.
Develops that whole maintenance, profile. Councillor Carr,
I'm happy to move it.
are you? You're going to move it in its
I can
entirety?
move it. All right.
As tabled?
Thank you. I'd like to move the recommendation that Council 1, 2, 3 and 4 on page 38, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Carr.
Second
Councillor
motion.
Noski is seconding. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, the road management plan's had a very large refresh since we last looked at it. I do encourage the community to take a look at it. It's complex, but it's very simple in the way it's been presented. For me, it's easy to understand. It's clear on what's a council asset and what's not. It's clear. And there's many layers to that, Madam Mayor. There's private assets and also there's Vic roads and state roads. And the document clarifies that within the road management plan, and I encourage the community to, whenever they've got a question on roads, search this document and have a look at it.
Councillor Noski.
I'd just like to support the adoption of this management plan, and I guess point out that Director Moyne is saying that we're working hard at getting more reactive, and my experience over the last 3 months, where there's been some severe weather events around Narrawong and some severe damage to roads, is that indeed we have been more reactive, and there has been urgent repair work done where urgent repair work is needed. And I think this is a plan that is ambitious, but it's also a plan that says that we're trying very hard to do a better job than we might have done in the past, and I hope all councillors are happy to endorse it.
Thank you. The motion as tabled on page 38 has been moved by Councillor Carr and seconded by Councillor Noski. Those in favour? Carried. Councillors will move on to 9.8 on page 45, which is the asset plan 25 2025 to 2035. Mr Moyne.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. This report presents the asset plan for council consideration again for adoption. The asset plan has involved a comprehensive review and data collection process and has been developed in conjunction and alignment with the long-term financial plan. The plan seeks to adopt a strategic asset focus for council and presents an overarching snapshot of council's assets, state and profile. A core component of the asset plan is the development of the asset improvement plan, which identifies priority actions over a short, medium and long term for council to consider to enhance asset management functions and capability, ultimately improving organisational, financial and community outcomes. Public consultation has again been undertaken on the plan with a total of 8 survey responses and submissions received, largely reinforcing the focus of the plan to prioritise asset renewal over upgrade or expansion, provide a balance between asset management and maintenance whilst focusing future investment on valued community and multi-purpose or multi-function facilities and projects. A summary of the survey outcomes has also been provided. Aside from revising the plan to align with the long-term financial plan, no further substantive changes have been made. The plan provides critical direction for council to guide future asset planning and management outcomes for the benefit of council and the whole community, informing further work and the development of both council budgets and capital works programs moving forward. Again, the recommendations provided before you.
Thank you, Mr Moyne. Councillors, this is I think the last plan that we need to put together for the Minister by the 31st of October. Are there any questions for Mr Moyne? Questions? There are no questions. There's a motion there on page 45.
Happy to move the motion. Items 1, 2, 3 and 4 as presented on page 45.
Thank you. Councillor Angelino is seconding. Councillor Noski.
Look, I don't think there's anything needs to be added. Director Moyne has summed it up very well. I think the work that's gone into the assets plan this time is very well considered. I think the plan to build a works program based around both criticality and need is the way forward that we have to go, given that we don't have the funding needed to just go and spend $15 million a year on asset renewal. And I think the plan is a good start for working out a way forward for this council as we work towards a renewals program that's suitable for our properties.
Thank you, Councillor Noski. Councillor Angelino, any comments that you wish to make?
No, thanks, Madam Mayor. Just back up Councillor Noski's. This plan is a good way going forward in maintaining our assets and the money that we've got to do that. So, thank you.
Anyone wish to speak against the motion? If not, I'll move the motion as tabled on page 45, moved by Councillor Noski, second by Councillor Angelino. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move on to 9.9, which is the draft domestic animal management plan for community consultation. Mr Holt.
Madam Mayor, Council has an obligation under the Domestic Animals Act to undertake a domestic animal management plan every 4 years. Our current one is coming to end at the end of this year. It has been in the past quite an emotive matter for residents of the Shire. We're seeking council endorsement to release the plan out for community consultation for the next few weeks and then bring the results back to council at a later meeting.
Thank you, Mr Holt. Councillor, are there any questions in relation to the domestic animal management plan going out for community consultation? Councillor Carr? No? If not, there's a recommendation there for a motion on page 52. Councillor Carr.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation that Council 1 endorses the draft domestic animal management plan for community consultation and 2 commences the community engagement process in accordance with Council's community engagement policy from the 29th of October 25 to the 19th of November 25 on the draft domestic animal management plan.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Is there a seconder for that, please? Councillor Pepper. Councillor Carr.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, people do love their animals, and I'm hoping we get as much feedback as we did last time. I mean, I think the main thing for me, Madam Mayor, is it's about the estimated number of dogs and cats in the region versus the number of actual registered dogs and cats in the Shire. No, it's not fair, Madam Mayor, that a small percentage of people pay and a large percentage of people don't to register their cats and dogs. So anyway, it'd be interesting to see what the feedback is on the plan, and hopefully we'll get some feedback as to why people pay or don't pay to register their animals as well.
That's right. Thanks, Councillor Carr. I mean, you can't make them do it, but, you know, the Victorian government makes us make sure people have their animals registered. Councillor Pepper, did you want to make any comment?
Madam Mayor, I just would like to see it out there and see what comes back, and then move.
Does anyone want to speak against this going out to the community, or any comments about it? If not, I'm going to put the motion, which was moved by Councillor Carr and seconded by Councillor Pepper. Those in favour? Carried. Councillors, lease agreement on number 9.10. Mr Holt.
Madam Mayor, it's a new lease, replaces a lease that's come to its conclusion. It's for a section of land at the airport. It does house a building on the land, however the building is not council's, it's just a lease for the land. Looking for council endorsement for a new lease with a 5-year with a 4-year term.
Thank you, Mr Holt. Councillors, any questions on this? If not, do I have a mover? Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'll move the recommendation that Council 1, 2 and 3 on page 55 in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. A seconder, please. Councillor Pepper. Councillor McDonald, straightforward.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Straightforward.
Thank you. I'll put the motion, councillors. The motion is as tabled on page 55, moved by Councillor McDonald and seconded by Councillor Pepper. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. 9.11, the MAV work paying scheme. Mr Holt.
Madam Mayor, Glenelg Shire was with 30 other councils at one stage in regard to a self-insurance scheme. The self-insurance scheme has been wound up, but as part of the scheme rules, there is a couple of liability periods. At the end of the first period, there's a further liability of council for some $237,000. This was something that was not budgeted for, and we've only recently found out about what that liability amount is through the MAV, so it seeks council approval for the payment.
Thank you. Councillors, there's a motion there on page 58. Are you ready to move, Councillor Carr? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to move the recommendation that council authorises the payment of the amount $137,432 for the 3-year actual review of the MAV work care scheme, and 2, authorises the Director of Corporate Services to finalise and sign all documents in relation to this payment.
Councillor Carr, do we have a seconder? Councillor Noski. Worth any comment? Just procedural.
No comment.
Thank you. Councillors, I'll put the motion as tabled on page 58, moved by Councillor Carr, second by Councillor Noski. Those in favour? Carried. Councillors, we'll move to the Glenelg Shire annual report. Mr Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Local Government Act requires Council, with respect to each financial year, to report on operations and performance via an annual report within 4 months of the end of the financial year. The 2024-2025 annual report is a key corporate document of Council. The financial statements component of the report, including the performance statement and report of operations, are currently awaiting formal approval from Council's Auditor and the Victorian Auditor General. These items will be presented to Council independently once the necessary approvals have been provided and a recommendation considered by Council's Audit and Risk Committee. Therefore, the 2024-2025 annual report is presented to Council this evening for in-principle approval.
Thank you. Mr Jackson. Councillors, I might just take an opportunity to go through some of our achievements before I put it to councillors for adoption. Councillors, I will be brief, but has it to say, I mean, this is basically the anniversary of our first year as a council since the election, so I congratulate you all for making the first year, and we're all here. So, and I think it's been a significant year for us all, and it's been one that we've been able to celebrate a number of achievements throughout the community. We've developed a lot of reports, and you see tonight that we're finalising some of those. This is our annual report, which takes in, you know, all of those great celebrations that we've had with our community grants, you know, putting out $160,000 to our community. We've identified our areas through our council and wellbeing plan, and there's a swag of projects within our annual report, which I'm not going to go down to, but I will say some of the significant things that we've achieved is our advocacy around drought. And I know Councillor Pepper, you know, we've done a lot of work in that area around drought and advocacy to the state government. We received 40% reduction across the board, and there's a number of other measures that are out there, and the task force was set up. We've also done a lot of advocacy, councillors, around the emergency services tax that was introduced earlier this year, and that is ongoing for this council and for all councils actually across the state. So look, we're incredibly lucky to have such a vibrant community that we have the pleasure of being elected members for. So look, I thank you, and I thank the CEO and your staff. A really bright and you know, really informative annual report for us again this year. So many tasks, but I do encourage the community to go online and please, you know, have a look at the report. Obviously, we present the report, councillors, for the minister. It's our obligation to do so, but I think it's incredibly important that we celebrate our achievements with our community as well. So in thanking you all, I'll put it to you to approve in principle. We will have the final auditor's report by the 31st of October, and we will have an unscheduled meeting to adopt those once KPMG, our auditors, have those available. But in principle, support for the annual report as tabled in tonight's agenda. Councillors, I'm over to you.
Happy to move the motion.
Councillor, sorry, you're moving the motion as tabled? Yep. Thank you. Seconder for that, please. Oh, fighting over it. Councillor Angelino, I think you were first. Okay, Councillor Noski.
No, I think, Madam Mayor, there's not much to say. It's been summed up. There's been some discussion about some of the formatting in the report, but I don't find that.
I think it covers all the vital things that we've achieved throughout the year. Councillor Angelino.
No, thanks, Madam Mayor. No, it's all been good. It's been a good year. I think we've all gone on pretty well, and we're all going well, and it's all in that report, and we're going to have some achievements coming up in the future. So. Yep,
certainly. Thank you. Councillors, the motion was moved by Councillor Noski as tabled on page 61 and seconded by Councillor Angelino. Those in favour? That is carried 6-1. Thank you. Councillors, we'll move on to 9.13. Is that right? Am I right? Have I missed one? Oh yeah, that was 9.13.
With the last one, could you do who voted against?
Sorry?
In the
division.
No, just who voted for?
Oh, who voted against? Councillor Carr voted against. Sorry. Was that noted? Right, Mr. Hall? Yes. Thank you. 9.13, councillors, is the appointment of an independent advisor to the CEO Employment and Remuneration Committee. Councillors, as you know, The independent advisor appointment ran out on the 30th of June this year, and it's beholden to us under the Act to go through an expression of interest process, which we did, and went through that, and then have appointed Mr. Michael Tudball. There was a recommendation there. I mean, obviously I'll take any questions if any councillor has anything they need me to clarify, but I hope that through our discussions in our meetings that's quite straightforward. Is there somebody ready to move the... Councillor Carr.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to move the recommendation in its entirety on page 63.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. Councillor McDonald. Councillor Carr, did you need to discuss anything further?
No, I think it's fantastic, Madam Mayor, that we've been able to appoint, well, that we should be able to appoint this candidate.
You reckon you should be able to take the task on?
And, you know, and also there's some longevity to it as well, which is gives us stability.
It does give us some stability.
As we continue to move forward.
Yeah, thank you. Right there, Councillor, you were happy.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to comment on the fact that we had some very strong candidates for this position, and we were very diligent in choosing this candidate, which I hope will show of a benefit to...
It will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. The motion as tabled on page 63 has been moved by Councillor Carr and seconded by Councillor McDonald. Those in favour? Carried. We'll move on to 9.14, which is the submission to the Essential Services and Volunteer Fund. Do you want to comment on this, or do you want me to do it?
Ever do it?
Thank you.
Your advocacy.
Pardon?
It's your advocacy.
It's my advocacy. Thank you. Councillors, it was recently brought to our attention that council's mandated to charge the Emergency Services Volunteer Fund levy on property that is leased by council. And the SES buildings certainly are leased by council, and they attract that fee. And we feel that, seeing as how the state government doesn't, we certainly feel that that it's inequitable that some do and some don't. We intend to write to the Premier and the Minister for Emergency Services and copy all of our local members in. There is a motion there on page 65.
Move the motion.
Councillor Jarlett was first, Councillor Noski, and you can second.
The motion, thank you.
That's why I'll work better. Councillor Jarlett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to move the motion as it's tabled on the document on page 65.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded by Councillor Noski, so you can speak to it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is definitely an area that the state government needs to weigh in on, because the situation is doesn't make a lot of sense how we have to charge the emergency services tax on SES buildings on our land, but the state government doesn't have to. The situation needs to be rectified, and if we can help, we'll definitely try to do that.
Yeah, that's right. Councillor Noski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I know it's not a large amount of money, but I think it's symptomatic of something that was rushed through, that the thought might have existed in the government's mind that there could be SES facilities that are not on Crown land, or didn't exist in their mind. I don't know how many other councils have done this, but I find it disappointing that where this council has given the SES the use of a building at Peppercorn ever since, I believe, the 1990s, very early 1990s, that because of that, the Portland SES group has to pay the ESVF and others don't. I think it's a simple thing that I would hope that the government, having been informed of the issue, will find a way to remedy without the Portland group having to find $380 odd for something that needn't be paid.
I think you're quite right, Councillor Noski. We need to bring it to their attention. We said that we'd advocate strongly on the Emergency Services Volunteer Fund and the increases and the changes, and whether this is an unintended consequence, it still needs to be brought to the Premier and to the Emergency Services Minister's attention. Councillors, any further comments on this one? The motion as tabled on page 65 has been moved by Councillor Jarlett and seconded by Councillor Noski. Those in favour? Carried. 9.15, the Victorian Access Regime Submission. Mr Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. VicRid has released the draft Victorian Access Regime for public consultation. This follows previous consultation regarding the Victorian Transmission Plan, to which Council had provided submissions in August 2024 and June 2025. This round of consultation involves three key documents that set out how access and connections are proposed to be managed inside and outside of the renewable zones, the renewable energy zones that underpin the implications of these key documents appear to only benefit a small area in the northern section of the Shire, whereas the majority of renewable energy projects within the Shire will be located outside of the zone. The attached submission, which focuses on key issues including stakeholder engagement, timeliness, community benefit and grid capacity, is presented to Council this evening for consideration.
Thank you, Mr Jackson. Councillors, any question of Mr Jackson? If not, there's a motion there on page 67, councillors. Councillor Noski. Councillor Noski, you moving the recommendation as tabled. Thank you. A seconder, councillors. Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Noski.
Again, we dealt with this earlier at another time. The submission that Council's put together to this thing, and I presume this is much the same, was very comprehensive. We know the issues. We know that there will be significant constraints perhaps put on people wanting to build large renewable energy projects in the Shire as it stands. And I think the submission is important that it goes through.
It certainly is. A lot of information in this whole regime. It's just incredible.
It's interesting that their reasons for reducing the size of the areas were nothing to do with the issue of generating electricity, but more about community impact or community response. And yet areas where there is very little community interaction with wind farms in Glenelg Shire have been left out of them anyway. So
I agree.
I just find the whole thing quite concerning in terms of a process and an outcome for this Shire.
Certainly an interesting process. Councillor McDonald, you've seconded the motion.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just to continue the advocacy that we've started and just make sure that VicRid is hearing what we're concerned about.
Keep reminding them.
Yep.
Councillors, if there's no further comments, I'll put the motion as tabled on page 67, moved by Councillor Noski, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Councillors, we'll move on to urgent business. You can sit back for a moment now. We're just in the question time. We do have a couple of questions, councillors. We have questions from Mr Gary Hum, who's asked the following question. Council CEO Employment and Remuneration Policy, Section 4.4.1 details timing of the CEO's performance review. Council's governance rules, Section 54, Item 8, outlines how the CEO can reject a question of council, referencing Section 66 of the Local Government Act of 2000. I'm sure he means 2020, I would imagine. The premise of this question of council understands that information to be received is considered in relation to the CEO performance review is information, the disclosure of which would involve unreasonable disclosure and information concerning the person. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's just move on. 1. Therefore, can Council provide an update on the timing of the CEO's annual performance review? We certainly understand that the elected council has the responsibility for the employment cycle of the CEO, and under the CEO's employment and remuneration policy, Section 4.3 sets out that the CEO Employment and Remuneration Committee, the committee, consisting of a minimum of 4 councillors and an independent member, have the responsibility to undertake the CEO's annual review. At the meeting tonight, councillors have appointed an independent advisor to the committee. Now that this appointment is completed, the committee's priority will be undertaking the annual review for the CEO. The second question is in relation to Council's withdrawal of its membership from Great Ocean Road Tourism, or GORT, after 10 years. GORT is recognised as a peak body for tourism in the region, and in making this decision, businesses stated that they were not consulted. The Mayor and CEO attended Parliament advocating for $5 million from the Visit Victoria campaign to boost tourism and support small business in the Shire. Councillor Noski tabled a notice of motion at the September meeting, which was lost, which was trying to identify the engagement gap within the tourism sector. Given this new advocacy approach, can Council outline its proposed strategy for tourism in the Glenelg Shire? Following Council's decision to withdraw membership from Great Ocean Road Tourism, GORT, after several years, the Glenelg Shire is taking decisive action to redefine and strengthen its tourism direction. Council's approach is now focused on developing a locally driven tourism strategy that reflects the unique identity, aspirations and economic needs of our own Shire and its communities. The Visit Victoria is a state government authority, and as we will be, we'll take every opportunity to advocate for funding through the state. Our recent councils took the opportunity with the South West Vic Alliance to attend Parliament House recently and raise a number of issues at Parliament House. Further to tourism, we talked about roads, we talked about the emergency services, volunteer fund, and a number of other ministers and shadow ministers were met by this council. The South West Vic Alliance also held a forum collaborating with a number of industry leaders from across the region. Councillor Jowett and Councillor Angelino were also in attendance, and I wonder whether you'd like to make some comment about your experience at Parliament House and the regional forum. Councillor Jowett, do you want to go first?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, it was a great event that we attended. We made some very important connections with local business leaders, including Michael Golby. He managed to, for want of a better term, he articulated to us the difficulties that he has been having with his business and in the region, primarily with roads, which are a great concern to everybody in the Shire.
He was a very good panellist, wasn't he?
He was excellent.
He was an excellent panellist. Councillor Angelino?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor.
What was your trip to Parliament House like?
It was that was a great experience to go through into Parliament and to actually see what happens only from I suppose the outside of it, or outside the actual building where the members sit and discuss and decide. But it was good to meet so many people people from other industries, from other people that actually have other interests in our Shire, and all the Shires in Victoria, whether it's roads, whether it's footpaths. There was people from many different industries that knew people that I know in Haywood and asked about these people. So there's a very common thread about roads and all the things that we think about in our environment here, they are the same in every other environment, whether it's housing, whatever. So it was a great place to actually meet people, discuss these issues, and hopefully with the advocacy from the 5 councils that were there and the CEOs, they can actually see that hopefully we can get something next year in the budget. So it was a great place to actually go and meet, and hopefully we'll get something action next year. So thanks for the invitation, and it was great.
Thank you. It's also really important that we remind them that we are alive and well in the Great Southwest here. So, yeah, thank you for your attendance. Councillors, that concludes our meeting this evening. Thank you. Thank you to the CEO and the officers for preparing the reports, and thank you all.